Uh, Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also thank the member from Richmond Stephen for giving me the opportunity to speak on this issue of economic recovery as it pertains to women. This is something that myself and my colleague, the member for Campbell South, who serve as a critic for economic recovery, jobs and innovation, have repeatedly been highlighting. We are deeply concerned about the impact that COVID-19 has had on women and the economy. We know that women have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic in a variety of ways. Many report that they are overwhelmed and stressed as they try to balance work and home life, which for many have become intertwined. Some are trying to work from home, but may have reduced access to childcare or the extracurricular activities that kept their children busy. Others may face increased caregiving responsibilities for their elderly parents, bringing them groceries or running errands for them to reduce their interactions and protect them from COVID-19. Of course, honorable speaker, the only thing more stressful than juggling the responsibilities of work and home is having no job at all. Sadly, this is another area where we see a disproportionate impact on women in our province. The most recent Statistic Canada figures show that since the pandemic began, there are 26,900 fewer jobs for women in BC today compared to February 2020. In just the past few months alone, women have lost 7,500 jobs. Meanwhile, the labor underutilization rate, a broader measure to increase those involuntarily working fewer hours, has risen to 13% for women, up from December's rate of 9.9%. Despite these troubling numbers, a year into this pandemic, we have yet to see a plan from this government to help women get back into the job market. This is unacceptable. And I will note that we need a concrete jobs plan, not only to help women who are unemployed or underemployed right now. We need this for all British Columbians facing this hardship. The government needs to foster an inclusive recovery to facilitate the re-entry of women into the labor market. They simply cannot afford to wait any longer. Another group that cannot afford to wait much longer for assistance are the many women who own and operate businesses in our province. We all know how hard it is to start a business, not to mention to make it profitable and successful. These women have worked incredibly hard to build their businesses, making numerous sacrifices and facing a lot of uncertainty along the way. Now, the pandemic has thrown the operations into chaos. In my critical role, I hear from many of them in the tourism industry in particular. We know that prior to the pandemic, tourism provided 20.5 billion of revenue to BC. Currently, only 10% of businesses in the industry have reported operating business as usual. Many of these businesses employ and are managed by women. Specifically, the hotel industry employs 104,000 people, 60% of whom are women. This industry saw 32,000 employees lay off, 32,000. So where do businesswomen in tourism or other sectors go for help? The government offers up a small and medium-sized business recovery grant, but sadly, this program has been difficult to access and funds haven't been going out the door fast enough. Luckily, the application deadline was recently extended by government, a move I applaud, and something that I've been calling for along with my colleague from Cameron South. It's my hope that further improvement will be made to streamline the process and ease eligibility requirements so that more of our business owners can benefit from the program and stay in business. Otherwise, those job numbers are only going to get worse for women in British Columbia and indeed for all British Columbia. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.